So when it comes into KvK, there's a couple different things you have to keep in mind before you get into KvK. One of the first things is make sure your marches are home. So sometimes I'm like, preparing to teleport and all that kind of stuff, but then I have gatherers out or a bunch of flaggers out or pit marches. To make sure that you get into Lost Kingdom as soon as possible, you want to make sure that at reset or slightly before reset, you send all those marches back home so that they could be in your city and you're ready to teleport. One thing that I also like to do for SOC or Season of Conquest KvKs in general is have an idea of what you're planning to spend, because when you get into the KvK, there's going to be a bunch of pop-ups that come your way, and it might be super tempting, or you might be contemplating, and it might have a hindrance in terms of what's your speed of doing certain things and all that stuff. So this is when reset hits. When reset hits, you want to make sure that you restart your game over and over and over again until the KvK icon pops up on the top right. Once it pops up, you should be able to teleport in your city. I'll put some gameplay of my KvK 4, which is the first ever Season of Conquest I've ever played. Okay, so then when that happens, when reset hits and you can see the KvK icon on the top right, you should be able to teleport in your city. There should be an option in there, and then when you teleport in your city, one of the first things I like to do is to set up my Lost Canyon defense, because the sooner you set up your Lost Canyon defense, the higher you get placed in the beginning. It's just a good practice to set your Lost Kingdom defense as fast as possible. The next thing I like to do actually is exchange my building speedups for training speedups. This is because my account's pretty developed. Building speeds are pretty useless for me because I have a bunch of them. I'd assume that you don't need building speeds anymore. From there, you could, training speeds are way more valuable because you'll always need training speeds, but you'll always have an abundance of building speeds. So make sure that you exchange your building speeds for training speeds before you start building your tech, your research center, and your crystal mine, just so that you have those extra speed ups. The next thing to do is to build your crystal mine / research center. You want to upgrade those to whatever your spend level is. If you buy pop-ups, max. If you're low spend / free to play, I'm not exactly sure what you do nowadays, but on my notes it says mine to 20 and research center to 15 from what I read. So I don't know if that's correct, but do whatever guide you're looking at, and make sure you upgrade those buildings and get your econ tech up. And then from there you could, if you're in heroic anthem, you could start scouting. You can start chaining barbs, killing some barbarians, getting some extra crystals. One final note is make sure to understand when the Fort Chronicle is going to end, because you do get some Trial of the Kalkarok, and that gives you extra crystals that you want to do ASAP. You want to do that as soon as it unlocks, so you could kind of have a timer as to when all the forts are going to be finished. And then hopefully that helps you out. Just a quick little refresher, because it's not that complicated, but when you're in the game, when it's your first time playing, or when it's been a while since you've been KvK, it could get a little bit overwhelming. So hopefully this video helps out, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.